good morning, everyone, and thanks for checking out another episode of Concrete and Coffee. I'm your host today, Cliff, and this episode is brought to you by Glue Down. Today, I have an awesome guest. You may not have heard of him or their products, but if you will after this because it's some really interesting stuff. Today, I have David Rogers with Nomaco, and their website is nomaco.com. That's NOMACO.com. And David Rogers is at drogers@nomaco.com. Dave, thanks for joining me this morning.
Well, thank you for having me. I always appreciate the opportunity to network with a colleague in the same, in our field.
That's the whole point of the show, is to get that better networking going. And people, we all go to conventions and stuff.
Right.
But this way, it's like warm butter, easy listening about construction products and contractors, like doing different things. So we chatted a little bit earlier. You're not a coffee guy, are you?
I am not. Well, if I'm on a deer lease or something where it's super cold, I will drink black coffee, but I am an iced tea drinker. Always have the 32 ounce. Today we're sponsored by Fuzzy's Taco Shop, where I got this wonderful red plastic cup. But yeah, iced tea, no sugar. Just
iced tea, no sugar.
Yeah, not sweet
That's
tea.
Cool.
In the South, most people think it's sweet tea, but not for me.
See, and I lucked out today because I get to drink this really not so delicious hotel coffee. And at least it's fresh. I'll give them that. It's fresh. But I don't make coffee in the coffee pots in the hotel room.
Oh, no.
On my Facebook, I every time I stay at a hotel, I'll run just some water through it and show what comes out the other end.
Yeah.
So people know. It's gross.
Oh, absolutely. No, I couldn't do it. So so you're on the road then. We're not allowed on the road yet until next week. And, once that takes place, I lose the COVID beard and get rid of my glasses and put on my big boy pants and get back out in. But you're already at it.
Yeah, it's here and there, and we do it as responsibly as we can. Like we said earlier, we schedule our appointments to the best of our abilities, make sure we're not cold calling unexpectedly, showing up to someone's business. And if we do, we call them saying, hey, I'm out in your parking lot. Would it be okay if I came in? Carried the mask. I have a plethora of masks hanging from my rearview mirror.
Yeah. And
it's just kind of it's like a fashion thing for me at this point. I'm is this my closing mask when I want to close a deal? This one's got smiley teeth on it. It doesn't, but that'd be a good one, just so people can see you're smiling behind it.
Yeah, I'm just a paper mask guy. My wife has she's a school teacher, so she has she just bought a bunch this weekend with various superheroes on them. So got to have the personality face mask.
Yeah, something fun, right? I want one that has a blue heeler on it because I'm a big dog fan, man.
Yes.
Which, by the way, you got the cutest stinking puppy.
Yeah, that's Ben, and he's no longer a little puppy. He is half Great Pyrenees. Mom was a full-blooded Great Pyrenees, or is, and the other half, I was told was a blue heeler, but I don't believe it. I think he's got a little bit of Saint Bernard in him because he
that's what it looks like.
He looks like a Saint Bernard, and he is now 96 pounds. He's still a puppy. The Great Pyrenees isn't really fully mature until they're about 2 years old, and so he's only a year old and weighed in last weekend at 96 pounds. So big puppy, a good dog.
Yeah, man,
love him.
Yeah, for anyone out there who wants to get a good glue down deal, you guys just send me a basket of puppies because I'm a sucker for dogs and cats. I met the coolest cat the other night at one of my friend's house in Las Vegas, man. But, oh, by the way, you guys don't know, we got these cool tumbler mugs for Concrete and Coffee. One's coming your way, Dave. It should be there.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Probably this afternoon.
Wow. Love it.
But you put all your tea in there, keeps it chilled. It's all stainless. anyone else is on the show, you have to be on the show to get a Cool Kid cup. Maybe if you catch us at a convention, we'll hand you one, but it's pretty slim. You have to be cool to get one of these. So you're at Nomaco. How long you been there?
I'm the new guy there. I've only been there about a year and a half. Most of the guys have been there between 7, 10, 15 years. Our president's been there for almost 40 years. So we are, no turnover. So I'm a new addition as a growing company takes shape, as you well know. You do have to add team members to keep up with the growth, and last year they added 2, so I'm one of the 2. So
I hear you on that, because we were a company of just a small, not even a handful, and then they brought me on, and the newest addition in like 3 years.
Yeah,
so
it's great responsibility. It's a lot of weight on your shoulders, because with a company that of this size, it's a big decision to add on somebody new, and you have to play well with the people that have been there for a long time. And but you got to pull your weight. I mean, you really have to show.
It shows fast if you don't, right?
It does. It shows up very fast.
Keeps you honest, which is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, what's your position over there at Nomaco?
I'm a regional sales manager, so I cover a fairly large territory, the what we call the South Central, and started off Louisiana over to New Mexico, covering Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and then now just recently, the first of the year, went on out to Arizona, Las Vegas, where you've been, and now Southern California as well. So I've only been able to make one visit. Immediately after my first visit, it was when the travel ban started to take effect. And but from what I've seen so far, gosh, I love the West. I mean, the customers are awesome. Nothing but good I got from people out there. I got good vibes from everybody out that direction. So I think I'm going to love it out there.
Yeah, the Southern California scene's fun. I also, in fact, next week, I'm going to Ontario, and I like being in Southern California and being out there. Yeah, not just California, but even like the guys I was just hanging out with in Las Vegas. Shout out to Borders out there in Las Vegas.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, I really enjoy working with a lot of the people in the West, and fortunate too. Especially, I like the Northwest. Personally, I've been working with guys up in Washington, and sometimes now we just get on the phone, like, "Hey, man, how you doing? Let's not even talk work. How's your team doing? Oh, they're not doing anything because COVID." But
yeah, guys in the South seem to keep busy, though. I mean, California, even with all the restrictions and everything, it seemed like they were still relatively busy. We still were receiving orders. In fact, Phoenix area has been one of my top performers here during the COVID, transition, and of course Texas, same way. So really haven't seen too much of a slowdown from these guys.
Yeah. I'm surprised, but I'm happy at the same time. So I can't complain.
Oh my gosh.
Can't point fingers. I'm like, you know what? Everyone's gonna do what they're gonna do, and all I can do is be like, good for everyone, and keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
But so before I was with Glue Down, I was with Peak Fasteners in Salt Lake City, and always trying to be on the forefront of trying new products. And I remember at World of Concrete 3 years ago, I was just seeing what was different, and I came across your guys' booth.
Yeah.
And I came across this guy here.
Yes, Noma Flex.
Noma Flex.
Yeah,
and I remember, that's
a little easier to bend.
I worked with one of the reps. I'm not sure if he's with you guys still, but Steve Holland, and he came out and he sent me I think 5 bundles. Because I was like, send me out a couple bundles. I'm like, let me put in my contractor's hands. And I did. And loved the product. The best thing that my guys liked when they rolled up in the morning was, we could get it fast because it was so light. Right. Even if you had stacks of stuff, because so light, just getting it and just tossing it down. Nothing broke. And then when they're like, dude, I got no room in my truck today. And I'm like, dude, I'll just fold it.
Yeah, bend it and stick it in the bed of the truck, sure. And then
Yeah.
retain.
How tight of a radius does that do? Is it like 12 inches?
Yeah, the specification sheet calls out 12 inches. And if you're in a nice warm climate, you can absolutely do it. If you're up in the frozen tundra of Minnesota or somewhere like that, and it's 5 below, that ain't going to happen. But, for utility work, light pole bases and things like that, it's a great product because you don't have to mess around with it. I mean, it's one and done. You stick it in there and adhere it with some great products. I hear there's some great products out there that adhesives that can be used with it.
Yeah, I think I know of one.
Of one.
It's glue up, glue to the side, glue down.
Glue something, yeah.
Yeah. So how'd that product come about? Because everyone out there is used it a million times, and there's not many other options to my knowledge as far as just I'm going to use the term standard expansion.
Yeah.
The impregnated fibers that's sticky, dirty, and deteriorates. How did the NomaFlex one come about? And tell me some of the benefits of that.
So Nomaco was already in the construction foam products. It started back in '79. We started with making pipe insulation. And as the company matured, divisions get changed around and sold off. And Nomaco is a very innovative company. We have an innovation center actually dedicated to nothing but coming up with new ideas. It's like your test kitchen in a restaurant or something like that. We segmented into backer rod, where in fact that's probably where we're best known for is our Nomaco backer rod with all the waterproofers. It's a highly specified product. And so when the pipe insulation division got sold off, we're looking for what's the next generation of construction foam? What are we going to do going forward? And we have quite a few new things, but expansion joint was a natural. You're right, 75-year-old mature product. There's been no innovation in it in years, and the current product is inadequate. I mean, it just really is. It's messy, just like you said. It's absorbs water. It gets all ratty, heavy, breakable. And polypropylene, which is what we make NomaFlex out of, is a natural bond breaker. So works great with your sealants. Doesn't cause 3-point adhesion, which is will cause your sealant to pull away if the sealant sticks to your expansion joint rather than to your substrate. It can cause tearing and flexing of the sealant. So polypropylene being a closed cell product, natural bond breaker, and doesn't absorb water. So guess what? It's not going to rot. It's not going to, be a maintenance nightmare for a DOT 15 years down the road. They don't have to go in and dig it out and replace it and repair it. So we felt like it was a better mousetrap. And but then as with any new product on the market, there's always a lot of commitment to launching something. It takes a lot of preaching, if you will, out to the masses, to the contractors, to the distributors, and to the specifiers. So many moving parts and a lot of money committed to marketing resources, just like the 5 bundles you got that, it cost a few coins and but that's part of the commitment you make to your new product, your baby, and we're fairly new at it. We're not new at launching new products. We're new at getting this to the folks, and it's been successful. We were World of Concrete in 2018. We were voted most innovative product, and and for good reason. I think that was a great choice, and we're continuing to innovate to, even this product not being mature, we're already innovating new uses for it.
Yeah, I remember. So when we didn't quite get set up, I had a hard time getting it moved, and not because of the product's sake. My
Right.
contractors liked it. Um, for one was like Ryan Webb with Rycrete, one of my high-end residential guys. My tilt-up contractors, FinCon, were using it out in their loading docks when they're pouring all their, the truck docks and stuff out there for the parking lot and everything. They were using it there. They liked it a lot. And it's offered in the different sizes too, a variety of size. It's like 5 or 6 different sizes,
Well,
thicknesses,
actually,
and height.
yeah. Well, we got 4 different thicknesses from 3/8 to 1 inch, and you can make your own thickness if you use a certain adhesive product that I'm aware of, glue down. You can custom make your, if you want a 2-inch thickness, and glue 2 1-inches together, and you're good to go. So um, the product in depths, plank all the way from 2-inch to 12-inch, and that's one of the innovation areas that we're looking at is that, as sales grow, people are going to be asking for larger plank sizes. So we have some work to do in innovating in that area. The inch sheets, so you can cut your own. So 10-foot sheets, 5-foot sheets.
I think that's great for some of those specialty projects, like when you come across like the different airports and stuff.
Right.
Because especially when you get to these high-end architectural projects, there's always a weird expansion corner somewhere where
Absolutely.
it's teetered or cantilevered off a wall or something like that. And I think having a sheet available is a nice plus. Because when I think the type of material it is, I think only something long and linear. Like
Yeah.
you said, like the
Plank.
yeah. But one thing I was getting at was, so my customers liked it, but then like for example on the residential end, he's like, yeah, the inspector wants to see the code thing, and I'm like, here it is, and it meets and exceeds it. And then we had a piece poured in the parking lot just to show, and we're showing it like, tell the inspector to come down here. This is 6 months ago. And yeah, and the 6-month thing is like a very big, like, that's right where you start to see the difference too. Like, you guys have that picture, and I'll put that up right here. And in the picture, you see the Nomaco the Nomaflex going one direction, and then you see the standard impregnated fiber one going adjacent to it.
Right.
And you see the difference at 6 months.
Oh,
and I think obviously, like, a picture says 1,000 words, and then for only a few, I don't think it's that big of a cost difference either.
It's actually material to material. It's a few pennies more per linear foot, but on Nomaflex, there is a cost savings associated with installation. Just like we showed the ability to flex around a corner. If you're doing a sidewalk or curb, you can flex around. You don't have to cut it in little pieces. And then, of course, our big unique feature to Nomaflex is being able to, we have this little cutting tool, the Nomaflex cutter, that allows you to score the top half, or the top half inch, just like the old tear strip, the pull foam stuff, it's got the tear strip on it. Much the same with Nomaflex. You can take, and once the concrete is poured and everything sets up and you're ready for the contractor to come in and seal it, they can just tear that top strip off take a screwdriver and put it on one end, or a 5-in-1 tool, pull that off, and you've got your zip strip already built into it. So now you're saving the cost of the zip strip. That's a good 30 cents a linear foot or something like that for zip strip. So now you're way cheaper. Cost of installation is way down, and your customer satisfaction, which is interesting enough, on the commercial contractors, in some cases they write their installation manuals around longevity and customer satisfaction more so than initial cost. And in that case, you're absolutely satisfying for longevity purposes.
So on one of the things when we seen like the media packet, you're on there, it talked about the Redwood replacement.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm not too keen, and I'm assuming off the top of my head, I'm just thinking when they have like the 2x4s in those old school driveways and stuff, what is the Redwood replacement? Because that's what I'm thinking in my head.
So redwood is commonly used now, not all parts of the country. Most people are using asphalt fiber or rubber or cork or, whatever the case may be. In the South, particularly in Texas, and we use a lot of heart merch, a lot of redwood, a diminishing supply, by the way. Sometimes hard to get. Sometimes certain lengths are hard to obtain. The distributors, it's kind of a bit of a headache because they have to take what they can get. It's not a matter of I want to order a pallet of this, and it's no, you'll take what we have and you'll like it.
Yeah.
So the problem with NomaFlex being so flexible, if you're doing a paving project, you're trying to use it as a form and an expansion joint all in one, it's too wiggly. And so you have to, I've seen paving projects where they've used NomaFlex, 8-inch depth. And while the customer was okay with the job, I looked at it and it looks like a snake going down the joint there. And I'm like, I'm not real proud of that one. It requires too much staking, and that increases the labor. Yeah. So what we needed to do was increase the density and make it where they can drill into it. They can run their rebar, the inserts in here, and their rebar in through here. And also has a bit more pull resistance. So like if you're nailing it, for example, or nailing to it, it doesn't pull as easy. There's a lot of things going into it. And then there's the length issue. We're set up in a manufacturing process for 10-foot lengths. And as you know, if you're doing let's say 18-inch on center for your bars, well, that doesn't divide into 10 very well. So,
no.
So we're going to have to work on some of those things. So in development right now, I've got some prototype product. I'm working with 3 distributors here in Texas to go out in the field with contractors and try to develop something that is both a good price point for them. It's probably not going to be cheaper, but availability is better, consistency is better, definitely. Has all the good qualities of Nomaco, and it's not a diminishing supply. I mean, polypropylene will be making it forever. So I think within the next year or so, Nomaco is fully committed to it. They've authorized the resources to develop this, and I'm excited about it. We've already, like I said, the prototypes sitting in my trailer out here, and I'm excited to get it out in the field.
So yesterday morning, I had the privilege of getting out to the new Raider Stadium that's being built out in Las Vegas, and on the big concrete common area that was on I think it was on the south side of the building there, and just looking at all their joints on that, and they have the white void cap, that plastic void cap on top of it and everything, and it looks great. The contractors are doing good work, I can tell you that. The concrete's, it's flat level, it's
Sweet.
like it's finished good, but I'm thinking about those joints and what's specified. And like the first thing that came to my head yesterday when I was looking at it, because I knew we were gonna be doing the show, and I had your sample. I had your sample in my pocket at the moment.
Yeah.
And I saw that joint, and I was just thinking, boy, if they just use the tool, had this on there, and then when they stripped away, and then instead of doing the plastic cap, I was like, if they used glue downs, we have a joint filler product.
Right.
Afterwards, I'm like, if they did the top of that with the joint filler product, I'm like, that is one long lasting system. I just don't think there's a better way that you could do it. If you used a quality expansion joint and then to cap it off when you do your tear strip with a hot melt product, that's where you get like ultimate strength on keeping stuff
Right.
away
Exactly.
and the flexibility needed too. I just thought, man, on the higher end commercial jobs, even I'm just like, God, some of these things where they're putting all this money onto like the flashiness of the building, but all the
Right.
stuff around it that's probably going to get the most wear and tear, that it's money well spent.
Yeah, and that's where the new product launch is so frustrating. There's a new specification. So what most people see when the spec that's probably in this particular project is probably the ASTM D1751, which is an asphalt fiber, using the zip cap, the old traditional method. And in that specification, it calls out certain criteria like extrusion. So, obviously you don't want a trip hazard. So you don't want it to extrude, and density and compression and recovery. But it doesn't call out really anything else like UV weathering if it's not going to be sealed. Obviously, this is a sealed joint, but so that's not an issue. But freeze thaw resistance. So if you're in a climate, where you experience a lot of freeze thaw issues, don't have that issue in Texas, but and heat resistance, water absorption. Water is the nemesis here because it, as a product absorbs water, it also begins to deteriorate. And those things aren't really encompassed in that D1751 specification. And so a new specification came out. It's ASTM D8139. And 8139 encompasses all of those things. It calls out UV weathering. It calls out freeze thaw resistance, heat resistance. It's a better, higher compression recovery. So, which expansion joint? I mean, it's designed to do one thing, and it's not or expansion joint filler, I should say. It's not an exciting thing. It's something that gets covered up, but it's designed to do one thing, and that's keep non-compressible material out of the joint. So if your material compresses but doesn't recover, well, guess what it's not doing? It's not doing its job. It's not keeping that non-compressible material out of the joint. And also, if you have to cut it and section it to go around a corner, well, sand, dirt, debris, all kinds of stuff is getting down into that joint. So you're really not doing your customer a favor by allowing that material to get in, and by using an inferior material. So, and in an environmentally friendly culture that we're moving towards, people don't want asphalt in the ground. I mean, let's face it. There's companies like In-N-Out Burger.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In-N-Out Burger is they don't want they want to build green. They want to eliminate certain like wood. They want to companies like Kroger's and other companies that are looking at what are we sticking in the ground here? What are we putting in our buildings? We want to build buildings that are friendly to our planet, and not putting asphalt in the ground is or putting asphalt in the ground maybe not a good idea. Maybe perhaps we'd like to put something inert like polypropylene into the ground. Something that's basically going to be there and not leach anything into, and also during the pour, since it doesn't absorb water, it doesn't pull water out of the pour, it doesn't add water into the pour. So your concrete is the moisture content stays the same at the joint. So it's a lot of good features.
I agree. There's a ton of good features about it. And so that before we wrap it up, I just wanted to touch base on bringing something new like this to the market, because everyone's kind of been set, like you said, there hasn't been any innovation truly in that area for quite some time. So
right.
What's been the big struggle of getting something like this to become more mainstream?
So logistics, as our products are a little bit different in how we ship them, but still, especially a smaller company, we can't afford to build warehouses in every state. We have tried, and it's a very expensive endeavor to put some, especially on a new product launch, because you've got untested product. You don't know which sizes are going to do the best and things like that. So, and we're shipping air. I mean, you think about it, our product closed cell
So
foam, it is so light, a full pallet weighs 600 pounds or something like that, but yet it's huge. It takes up a half the trailer. And it's hard to wrap your head around shipping air across the country on a truck. And so
I would assume that would be super easy though, because like the truckers were like, "Oh, dude, I'm getting good gas mileage. I'm getting the hills. I don't even realize I have a trailer hooked up."
I want you to talk to the trucking companies and tell them they need to give us a discount on fuel. That's right.
Seriously, because I don't think people realize how light it is. I would say that's probably the downfall of having it on my site. Maybe is like I gotta trust George over there to put something on it at night so it doesn't take off. But that'd be it. And only that, if I have extra and I need to sit on it till the next job, it stays looking good. It doesn't. One of the hardest things was I'd go out of town when I was a distributor, right? Or maybe we just neglected to keep up on the housekeeping where our expansion joint was sitting in the yard.
Right.
Then you had the torn covers and stuff. And next thing you know, the guys didn't want that one, so they toss it off the back. Next thing I know, there's like 6 or 7 bundles of it out there. It's all sun rotted. The wrapping around it looks like a turd. And it's like, and it's funny. So the same scenario, like of what was left of the sample bundles we had, I had it on the back of this expansion of the impregnated fiber. And one of the guys, I want to say it was a DM Concrete. He came, I was getting him some stuff. He just needed a little bit. And I was like, you want, and we were low. And so I was like, just take this. And I go in the back and I grab the last of the Nomaco, the Noma Flex. And he's like, what is this? I'm like, I thought I gave you some of this, but it was 4 months old at that point,
right.
And it looked brand new. And then he loved it. It just, again, come to get these inspectors to see like it's exceeding by far. What do you think is there a better route to take to maybe encourage the inspectors and stuff? Because they don't want to do lunch and learns. Should we just mail every city in the country samples and spec lists? I mean, it's a little absurd, but what do you do about that?
So we've reached out. It's frustrating as a manufacturer. We want to help our distributors. We lean on our distributors to get the message out and to do the legwork. We can't be everywhere at the same time, so we have a lot of faith that the distributors are, just like you had mentioned, doing the demonstrations and things like that. But behind the scenes, 2 things that we're doing to get it specified. We're working with. We hired a spec salesperson to work with, basically make the phone calls, try to help do change orders, and things like that. We're working with master spec, so it makes it easy for the architects and engineers to put it in. But as far as getting it in front of the contractors, we can't really send out a sample to every single one, but we do send one to everyone that requests. I'll send them a sample pack for free. But what we did this year, this is the first time we've done this, we did a contractor direct discount coupon, a promotion. Now, we didn't do this to cut out our distributors. Absolutely not. We only sell through distribution, and we support.
You're planting the seed, so they go to the distributor.
Yes.
Saying, hey, can you guys keep this in for me?
We want them, and even if the distributor doesn't participate, and most do, there are some that it makes some issues with their accounting systems, and you know the drill. I mean, the computer systems sometimes don't jive with the promotions, and it's understandable. I get it. at least the contractors coming in and asking, and that's all we want them to do. We want the contractor to look at this and go, hey, I'm curious, and start asking the questions. Only then will the inspectors, if nobody asks, the inspector's not going to spend their time. But when people start asking, the inspectors will come out and start to understand this. Now, the ones that do, I'm finding are very receptive. Not everybody, but most are receptive to the product. They want to see it. We do have a field report that we give them and shows, hey, we've been putting this stuff in the field for roughly 7 years now. We've got it in high profile locations. It's performing flawless, and we have 44 DOTs approved. This at this point we're approved by 44 DOTs, and I'm still, and Caltrans just last week, Caltrans is on board now, and that was no easy task, but they are, we're now approved by Caltrans. I consider that a huge win, a huge victory. Now, if I could just
anything in California is a victory.
Yeah, huge victory.
Yeah, it's like just making products VOC compliant is a huge victory for California.
Gosh, yeah. I came from a little bit of a chemical background, so definitely know some of the issues that you face. You've got a whole different set of
but coming from like Carlisle and Dayton and stuff, you've had your set of challenges with that. So
dealing with keeping your products on the QPL and all of that. So but as far as our relationship, our synergy with Glue Down, we have had numerous contractors will call and go, I need to find out what I can fasten NomaFlex with, and what's a great product to use for that. And when I first came on board, I'm familiar with Glue Down from my Dayton Superior experience. The forming brackets, and I got nothing but I love this stuff, from people, from contractors. And so when I came over to Nomaco, they were recommending another product, and the set time wasn't really that great, and it performed okay. I saw guys using liquid nails. I don't even want to go there.
I know what that does to foam.
Yeah, and I don't like, but I did find out, I learned something, and I hate to say it, but I learned that if you apply it in circles instead of lines, it actually adheres better. So there's something that I didn't know.
I can actually use that on one of my other products. So I'm going to take that and test it.
It's like an octopus, so there's something new for you today. And Glue Down was in Texas. I mean, my primary, of course, we're tilt wall central down here, and my primary experience comes from Texas, and so I started recommending Glue Down. I used it myself, actually, even on my own residential project, my own home, and works wonderful. I mean, oh my gosh, it's so easy. For especially if you're using an isolation joint on a slab, it sets in seconds and it's perfect. And even though it says on the can, I don't know, it's like a minute or something like that. I mean, it's almost instant. It goes on.
Yeah, yesterday I was flipping over stuff in like 95 degrees. It was like 95 degrees. No, it was 97 degrees in Las Vegas yesterday. And after we sprayed, it was instant flip, instant grab. It's like, go ahead and try and kick that off, because it was.
Yeah, it doesn't kick off, and that's what I always, the old saying, I'm actually not from Missouri, but I would tell people, hey, I'm from Missouri, show me. So I have to actually see it in action, and I kicked on it. I had it on, I was using it on some decorative stuff, so I had it on the side of some forms, or some NomaFlex on the side of some forms. It was an odd application, and I was kicking the NomaFlex to see if it would come off, and it doesn't come off with the Glue Down on it. So.
We use a variety of our products for the polypropylene, like on the drainage mats and stuff, so we know it sticks better than other products. So before we wrap it up here, I just wanted to, I got that, the quote, one of your favorite quotes, and I thought that was one I'd like to share because guys in the field, whether you're a contractor, a distributor, a manufacturer, I think this is one that we can all just kind of think about in the back of our heads. Never argue with a fool. Others may not tell the difference. From Mark Twain.
Oh, Mark Twain, yeah.
And I had an encounter a couple days ago, and I was just like, that would have been the perfect thing to share with the individual that was calling me the fool. So.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah. Now, we got a radio show here in Dallas. Ed Wallace, he talks mostly about cars, and that's part of his commercial, his intro. You know, he had a guy who unfortunately passed away last year, but he used to do the intro for their show.
Mm-hmm.
And he used to say that a lot, and I just love it. I think it's funny. It definitely applies.
Oh, yeah. One last thing just popped in my head. Are you guys attending the virtual TCA this year, the TCA event?
I'll have to ask Larry. We do attend TCA. I'm assuming that we will.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'll make sure that Larry's aware of it, and we'll definitely network back or circle back around to you and let you know. But we definitely participate any chance we get to network or participate in. And it's going to be weird this year. I've canceled, obviously.
It's not going to be weird. It's going to be unique.
Different. There you go.
It's going to be unique.
Unique. I like it. I like it.
I'll take this opportunity just to talk to our viewers and our listeners. Guys, it's going to be virtual through Verbella this year. And the distributors and manufacturers can set up booths and stuff. But what's really going to make it a success is the contractors dedicating their time to attend it online. And I believe, and I don't know if it's set in stone, that's going to be free to the contractors. So they can create their own avatar, get in there, and make sure they're still seeing everything and having one-on-one conversations as well as possible without actually being there in person. And I've played with it. In fact, some guys took me to their virtual office that all their employees have to go to. And some guys in Australia, he's like, hey, you want to see my office? I'm like, sure. And then we teleport it, and then there's office employees in their own office space. So I'm going to encourage all of you guys to participate in it, dedicate the time. You're still going to get something out of it, I promise you. Other than that, that's where I wrap it up with you, man. I appreciate you reaching out, Dave.
Yeah. And I also want to give a shout out to Chuck Hoke. And I don't know if you know Chuck Hoke from Dayton Superior, but Chuck is the king of tilt wall, and he knows more about concrete than both of us have ever known, than most people have forgotten. And he celebrated his 25-year anniversary with Dayton Superior. So I want to. He's a great guy.
Let's give it up for Chuck.
Give him a shout out. And but no, I appreciate you having me on here, and always great to network with a fellow. We're both out there, road warriors, and any opportunity I get to visit with you guys, I definitely I love your product, and I love to visit with you any chance I get. So
most definitely, guys.
Yeah.
Again, check out their products. It's not just the Noma Flex; they have a wide range of products. You'd be surprised. They have structural foam for boat stuff, pallets, backer rod. They got
corks.
Wine corks. Can't go wrong with wine corks.
Yeah.
A lot of people collect those. I bet you don't have that in your collection. So check them out at nomaco.com. You can also reach out to David here. He's going to be linked in and connected to this podcast here, as well as we're talking about the joint fillers and at the Raider Stadium, what I thought would work. Also check out our joint filler at gluedown.com. I think a lot of people would be really interested to see the combination that could happen with those particular products. Other than that, you guys have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you next time.